etc. Hello.
For the record, I was not expecting that.
That's why I did it. Hello. Welcome to the Forcecast today. I'm Austin.
And I'm Morgan.
Welcome.
Here we are back with the Forcecast this week.
Yep, we got a lot of stuff to talk about it.
So let's get the ball rolling.
Yep.
We'll start with the... I keep saying on this day thing, but we do more than just one day. So I would say like this week.
It's this week in Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
In recent news?
Well, no, that's news. We're talking about this week in Star Wars and in Lord of the Rings. Okay, first off, I need to repent. Yesterday, or I'm dead certain it was yesterday. I just want to confirm real quick. Morgan, you go ahead and start with Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
We didn't cover something last week that needed to be covered.
We will get back to Austin's confession / repentance in a minute. This week...
it was yesterday. Sorry.
This week in Lord of the Rings history, there's a few things at least worth noting. On Monday, it said the ring bearers are honored and they revisit Fair Athelion, it says.
Which ring bearers? Talking Frodo and Sam, or what?
Yeah, it looks like it because it mentions Sam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this doesn't
he
give.
Could technically be considered a ring bearer, yes.
Yeah.
Was we talking about the elves and Gandalf?
No. I think it's Frodo and Sam because it mentions Sam.
Power of the three rings.
Yep, exactly. And then honestly, after that, not a whole lot, at least worth noting for this week. It says Hobbiton's being built on Wednesday. It says 1999, so I'm guessing it meant Hobbiton
Y2K?
as in... Yeah. I'm guessing that was when they started building the Hobbiton set for Lord of the Rings. It says 1999.
But it could also... Well, does it have...
All it says is it takes us to the OneRing.net's article.
That's probably...
So that's probably what it is, yeah. Honestly, yeah, there's really not a whole lot.
Can we also just say
noting.
real quick, can we just appreciate that New Zealand was literally perfect because there was a beautiful rolling green hills countryside place with a large hill looking right at a massive tree.
Which is exactly
the description of Bag End. Like, how perfect is that? Peter Jackson even said that. That's why we chose this location. There's literally a big hill looking right at a big tree. It's literally what we need.
You could not have found a more perfect place.
Oh, man, it was beautiful. Sorry, we're not talking about the reasons. But it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Love it.
As they Lord of the Rings doesn't have a whole lot this week, at least worth
noting.
noting.
Star Wars, honestly. And yesterday, need to repent. This was not on my little Star Wars app thing, and honestly, I feel like we should get up in arms about this, honestly, because yesterday, let me look on this day in Star Wars. This day in Star Wars, April 11th. What's today? The 11th?
Yeah, the 11th.
April 10th, 1981. I covered this. Star Wars is re-released for the third time as A New Hope. But also, on April 10th, it's the birthday of a certain actor, an actor, in the Star Wars universe. Pretty important, I would say. I mean, I would say it's pretty important. We should cover it.
I think so.
I mean, it's not like the guy who played Wedge Antilles in A New Hope in the scene in the briefing room is technically a different actor, FYI. No, is Daisy Ridley's birthday yesterday, and not only, happy birthday, Daisy, not only is it not on the app, but the Star Wars Instagram page technically did not wish her a happy birthday. They posted art about Rey and how awesome Rey is, and I concur, but they did not officially wish her. The only reason I knew is because Mark Hamill wished her a happy birthday.
Good on Mark Hamill, but why the heck is she being shunned like this?
Excuse me? Are you like, what's going on?
She's only your leading lady right now.
I know, she's your main character in your new trilogy. Like, what's up?
She's kind of important, you know. And
she's important, and we've wished happy birthday like Ben Mendelsohn and everybody else in Star Wars, but it's like, why is Daisy really not on here?
I'm like thoroughly disappointed in that right now.
I know,
to be
it's
perfectly
like,
honest.
what the heck?
Who is running that freaking Instagram
I don't know,
page?
and who messed up? I mean, like, why didn't they? I mean, it wasn't even like pictures of Rey and then Happy Birthday Daisy. I didn't even see any Happy Birthday Daisy. It's just about Rey, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's one way to do it, but like even Ben Mendelsohn got an official Happy Birthday. twice. I remember, well, of course, twice, once a year. But I remember seeing it last year. I remember seeing Daisy.
See, people got all up in arms about Danai Gurira's name being left off a poster. Why aren't we getting all up in arms of the people at Star Wars forgetting to wish their leading lady a birthday?
Slightly different, but yeah, I get it. It's similar.
No. She is a leading part in Star Wars. Danai Gurira is a secondary character. As much as I love Okoye, she is secondary.
She made the poster, though.
But that's just it.
Anyway, and this week in Star Wars, April 14th, Rise of the Hutt Cartel was released for Tor, the first expansion of the Old Republic. Honestly, the most forgettable expansion of Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is okay considering the other expansions are phenomenal. Like, honestly, I am still a big fan of The Old Republic. Spencer and I still play it. I know a lot of people weren't happy with it at first. I loved the story element of it. I still love the story element of it. Shadow of Revan, Knights of the Fallen, and Eternal Empire expansions are incredible. The cinematography, the storytelling in it is a step up from what it was. Especially, I love the cinematography in those, because in the original base game, it was pretty stationary, like the camera just shot reverse shot stuff, but from Shadow of Revan onward, it's this sweeping camera. There's a lot of movement with the camera. Very French New Wave, I'll say. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was honestly the most forgettable of all of the expansions, because it's not that interesting. Second trailer for Force Awakens debuted on April 16th of 2015, which is 4 years ago, by the way. And that's about all we have for this week in Star Wars, which is honestly okay, considering we have much more important things to talk about this week. So, I mean,
yeah,
well, actually,
on the subject of trailers,
we do technically still have This Week in Star Wars coming up here soon, but yeah, we're going to talk about trailers. We got a couple of new ones. Well, we got one trailer and a couple of, well, actually, no, trailers. Lion King.
Yes, Lion King came out with an official trailer.
Still only lines from the two brothers, though. None from anybody else. Literally, anybody else.
Technically, we got Timon and Pumbaa at the end.
Wait, did I miss that part?
You didn't see that?
I must have missed that part.
They were singing!
I missed that part.
Oh my, okay, we're apparently gonna have to rewatch the trailer when we're done here.
Well, the one you sent me had a crap sound.
Really?
It's just a horrible quality sound.
Because the one I listened to that same one and it sounded just
horrible.
fine.
It's horrible. I don't know what it was. But yeah, it got a full
trailer. Maybe it was
trailer.
something on your phone.
Got a full trailer. Looks great. Looks like Lion King.
I'm so excited.
And James Earl Jones sounds great. And the guy whose name I can't pronounce, who's Mordo from Doctor Strange, sounds great as Scar.
See, personally, I'm just like, he'll still never quite have anything on Jeremy Irons.
But we'll see how he sings. See,
that's one thing I'm wondering about, is if they'll still have the music.
Oh, they better be prepared. Let's be honest. It's one of the only reasons you watch that. Well, not one of the only
reasons.
It's one of the reasons you watch that movie.
That is the best villain song in Disney, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. Like, it's one of the reasons
Maybe that's something we can talk about tonight, too, is Disney villain songs.
It's one of the reasons you watch Lion King. I mean, Lion King's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It's amazing. But honestly, Be Prepared is like the reason you watch that first third of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and Paul and I sing it all the time in the car.
It's an amazing song. Jeremy Irons slash
Jim Cummings.
Some Jim Cummings have great voices because it's Jim Cummings.
Paul still can't hear the difference.
I can hear it.
Here's what's funny. So, one of Paul's other favorite villain songs is you haven't seen Anastasia, have you?
I have not, but I've heard the song.
In the Dark of the Night.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting song. Now, of course, that's Jim Cummings singing. So one time we were in the car, I played that song first. I said, okay, this is Jim Cummings. And we listened to it and we sang. And I played Be Prepared again. I said, okay, now listen. Listen.
Prepared for the murkiest scum. But it sounds just like him in that line.
He still couldn't hear it.
It sounds just like him.
I know. And how long did we go without knowing?
I just didn't know we were young. I found out that trivia and I instantly heard it. No offense to you,
once I figured that out, I heard it too. But we still are quite a bit older until we finally realized that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because we didn't know. Like, we were young. Things were all the same to us.
This is also the guy that was able to replicate Winnie the Pooh. That voice is hard to do.
Jim Cummings is amazing.
He is the voice actor of our time.
I saw a short film he did, like a live-action short film.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty darn good, actually. It's pretty funny, but also kind of sad. Like, it was pretty darn good. One shot. It was a 20-minute one-shot take. Like, it was pretty good.
Dang.
He was the star of it.
Yeah. Really quick. Back to the Lion King.
It's Lion King. Looks good. Like the visuals look pretty good.
See, what's nice is, they've had like the Aladdin trailers and stuff recently. A lot of people are complaining, which kind of makes me sad because I'm really excited for that movie. Mostly about Genie. However, I've looked at the comments for Lion King. I've seen no complaints. Everyone's saying I'm so excited.
I've heard a complaint from one guy at one of my classes, but I don't get him, honestly.
What did he say?
Like, he's upset that it's James Earl Jones.
Why?
I don't know. He wants it to be something different, and I can understand that. But it's like...
At the same time, this is James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
this is Mufasa.
You can't replace him. I also think you couldn't replace Jeremy Irons. I still kind of stand by that, even though he sounds great.
Oh, he sounds great, yeah.
He sounds... I mean,
Scar
looks good. But...
The only complaint I've seen, it was actually from a friend of mine's sister. Because my friend Shelby from high school is obsessed with Lion King. Like, she's always loved The Lion King. It's her favorite movie.
Also a great stage play.
Oh, yeah. And so she, of course, was super excited. And her sister was like, Scar should have a black mane. And I'm like...
it's not as important.
Well, Shelby tried to say, lions don't really look like that in real life. And I guess there are actually some lions out in the world that have black manes. But Shelby was like, well, they really only did that to differentiate the two, big lions. Make sure we knew who's the villain.
They certainly look different enough. I mean...
Oh, yeah. It's like, I can still look and tell the difference.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they look more realistic.
It looks pretty good. I mean, it's probably... And honestly, it's probably going to be Beauty and the Beast. It might be slightly different from the original, but it's pretty much going to be a carbon copy.
I mean, even just the shots in the trailer are a whole lot like the movie, yeah.
And I'm not upset about it, honestly. It's like...
Even the time skip montage of them walking.
The Hakuna Matata sequence.
That got me so excited.
It looks pretty much carbon copy, I mean, honestly. But then again, so was Beauty and the Beast. And that was an amazing film.
Pretty dang much, yeah.
There's a couple of differences, couple more songs, things like that. But
it'd be kind of nice if they could include maybe a couple of the Broadway songs in there. Like Nala's song, I would die.
That was beautiful.
Even though it is Beyonce, I still think she would kill it.
But she can sing.
Yeah, she can sing.
I mean... I really don't have anything against Beyonce. I don't really know anything she does or doesn't do.
There's a few things that she has said or done I don't quite agree with.
Okay,
I mean,
I don't know what she said or what she hasn't said.
I just don't fawn over her like everybody else, but I don't necessarily hate her stuff. Yeah, she can sing.
She can sing.
Anyway, you were saying about the song.
Oh, yeah, it was a beautiful song.
But
also, do we know if He Lives in You, did that originate on the show, or was that from the sequel originally?
I think it was from the sequel, because I don't think the Broadway show came until after. I don't know.
It's an old show. Google this real quick.
Yeah, I'm Googling this
because
really
in the Lion King Broadway show, they play the song. Let's Google it.
Well, I need to see when the sequel came out. Okay, so the sequel, it just had it.
Simba's Pride.
Simba's Pride. That was in 1998.
Really?
Yeah.
When was the first one?
94. I remember because I always tell myself I'm as old as the Lion King.
Well, because in the stage play they have the song "He Lives in You." It shows up twice actually in the show, which we know originally from.
Wait.
97.
Is that real? Yeah, it debuted in 97, so actually that song came first.
Unless they incorporated it, but it's very possible. Well, it's very possible that they gave them the song while
they probably had it in the show and then said, "Hey, let's put this."
Either that, or they had it in the second film, and they're like, "Hey, while you're at it, why don't you put this song in your show?"
I'd have to look more into that.
Yeah, but so either way, we know that's a great song too. I mean, it's kind of
I love that
it's
song.
The Circle of Life version. It's the Circle of Life for the second movie, because they don't. It's the big show-stopping musical number. But,
I don't think James Earl Jones can sing that one, though.
No.
Because in the stage play, it's Mufasa that sings it.
Rafiki was great, by the way.
Oh my gosh, Rafiki was fantastic.
Show stealer. She and Zazu, at least in the version we saw, stole every scene.
I can't wait to hear John Oliver as Zazu.
They stole every scene we were in. Just don't make any Trump jokes, Oliver. Seriously.
You have bucked up royally.
Greatest joke.
I lost it at that one. But anyway, I'm super excited for Lion King. It's gonna be amazing.
It looks great, and they've got a great cast, honestly.
Yeah, total star-studded cast.
See, it'd be great to hear Nala's song. It was a beautiful song.
Oh, I would die if they put that on. Well, and, like, that's also part of why I'm wondering if they're doing the music, because, like, they have someone like Beyonce as one of the voice actors, so it's like, okay, are they having her sing, too?
I mean, you would expect.
But then here's the thing. I don't know if Donald Glover can sing.
He's a rapper. Well,
but that's just it. He's a rapper, but can
sing.
he sing?
He sang in Community, I'm sure.
I don't remember him actually seriously singing.
I think he can sing.
I guess we'll have to see.
I'm pretty sure he's got it. I mean, because he's not one of those, like, I've listened to some of his raps. Like, just
I
bits,
haven't heard any of his stuff
bits,
other than...
And they're not unbearable like Eminem or literally anyone else. He's actually not that bad.
Yeah, see, I haven't heard any of his stuff.
They're odd. Like, This Is America. I've heard bits of This Is America, and it's a very odd song. But it's like one of those... I'm pretty sure he can sing.
I guess we'll have to see.
Other news...
That's in July?
Yes, July.
I can't wait. Anyway, quickly moving on.
In other news, we've got more Endgame material.
More Endgame.
They released a clip. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the clip they're gonna show. Like they showed on. We didn't watch it, but I'm pretty sure this is what they showed on Kimmel. Pretty sure that's what they're gonna show on Fallon.
That's
pretty
probably
sure this is the only clip they're gonna show.
Everybody like in the cast is being on Kimmel or like Jimmy Fallon like pretty much all week.
Well, that's what they do. Yeah, they have so many they have to split it up, like what they did with Infinity War. But honestly, the clip looks amazing. I'm still not entirely convinced it's real.
Why would it not be real?
To fake us out, to make us... Because they're kind of giving away a decent amount of stuff. Like, you obviously still have questions, but it's like, wow, there's a lot going on here that we know about. And it looks like the scene that builds up to the initial playing of the theme and the reveal of the title,
and
of
it
course.
sucks because then they cut it off.
They cut it off
right
because the Russos are sadists!
They cut it off right at the swell.
But there's a bit. Did you do the thing? Did you check this out? On the clip? On the voice?
Oh, no, I haven't gotten a chance to look at it.
The internet have pointed this out. Okay, we're going to have to watch the trailer again, and we're going to have to watch this.
We're going to have to watch Lion King, and apparently they're going to show me this clip again.
Because there's a part where when, it's the scene, they're, like, discussing, kind of, that they're going to go after Thanos. And Carol Danvers is there, and everyone's there. And Thor
not
gets...
everyone.
Yeah, not everyone. But Thor gets up. It's that scene in the trailer where he goes up to her, and he summons Mjolnir. But as she turns around and looks at him...
Not Mjolnir.
Stormbreaker, excuse me. And as he does so, you can hear, and this is a legit thing, the internet pointed this out, and I've heard it. You listen to the background, you can hear a voice, a female voice, that sounds like it's saying, I have telepathy.
It's probably Carol.
It's probably Carol, but why does she have telepathy? Which also makes me think the scene is fake, because it's like, they're just like giving us things that we think are real that aren't really real.
You really don't trust the Russos.
I don't trust the Russos because they're liars! They've already admitted that some of the stuff in the trailers is fake footage. Because they can. Of course it is. Because, like Infinity War, with that epic scene at the end of every single trailer, was not in the movie!
That was, like, the biggest fake out ever. I don't know whether to say it was a big disappointment or not. Because I was kind of looking forward to that scene at the same time.
It wasn't disappointment. It was like... When they got to that moment, I was like, "Oh, is this that scene in the trailer?" I'm like,
I thought
no.
so too.
I immediately thought, "There's no way this can't. This just doesn't fit. Like, this is too doom and gloom right now to make this work." And so yeah, but also they had a new TV spot come out today, and they showed more, and they're splitting the party.
You don't split the party.
You don't do this. I think we covered this last week. You don't split the party.
Number one rule in Dungeons and Dragons.
Because the last time we did that, we had Zemo, really, but still, we got Thanos. Mm-hmm. The Civil War, we split the party.
They were split, like, what, 3 ways in that one? In Infinity War?
But yeah, pretty much, but I'm referring to the fact that they were already split up because of Civil War.
Well, yeah, I know.
Freaking Zemo. I'd like to see Zemo come back, actually.
Say what?
I'd like to see Zemo come back, actually.
Really? Why?
Because he was, like... Because it'd be interesting to see what would they do if Zemo's back. Like, how would they react? Would they just kill him on sight, or would he have something?
This is what gets me about Civil War.
Because Zemo was a minor villain in the comics.
Yeah, see, that's just
very minor.
And we'll tie this into our topic for today. This is what gets me about Civil War, and this actually almost goes.
This is the genius of. I know what you're about to say. This is the genius of Civil War.
Yeah, because they have fought so many villains with supernatural powers and abilities, big, huge baddies that, just beat their butts. Zemo had none of that. He was just a man.
That's why Zemo's great.
He was just a regular man who he lost his family in Sokovia and wanted to get revenge on the Avengers without like summoning a massive army or gaining any abilities. He just did it all on his own.
He knew he couldn't beat them. He knew he couldn't. He said so as much. He's like, I can't beat them.
Oh yeah. So he said,
bigger men than me have tried, but they can beat each other, and they did.
Yeah, he said, I'll get them to fight each other and
kill each other.
I'm like, he was just a freaking man.
That's why I really like Zemo, because he wasn't a super, like in the book, in the comics I think he was a Hydra super soldier of some kind. Baron Zemo. This one he was just Zemo.
He did the worst to the Avengers.
He did.
Obviously up until
That's
Thanos.
why I really like Zemo, because he's a really smart villain.
Yeah.
And is one of those that, because he's still kicking, I mean, I assume they didn't say if he was snapped or not, but it'd be interesting to see him come back in some form. Maybe not in Endgame, but just like in a future MCU movie.
See, and that's one thing I see about villains. Is you think of a villain, you think someone big, bad, evil-looking, dark powers.
Those honestly can be very good.
Oh, yeah. But the
like
thing
Thanos.
is, I feel that, I don't want to say the worst villains, but like the best villains, the ones that are almost scarier, are the ones who don't have that. Like, we said, here's Zemo.
Well, it depends on how it works. It depends on the dichotomy, I guess.
I've made this argument for Gaston. Because I saw a thing arguing that he honestly is probably the worst Disney villain, and I actually kind of agree.
No one flex like Gaston. With big pecs like Gaston. No one painfully astral projects like Gaston.
But I mean, in all the Disney movies, same thing. You have witches and evil queens and, you know, all these people with magic and supernatural abilities. And then you have Gaston, who, like Zemo, is just a regular man with a giant ego and narcissism, all that stuff. But yet, he was able to get an entire town to pretty much side with him and turn against these two innocent people in the town just through sheer persuasion.
It was fear. It wasn't persuasion. It wasn't that hard.
Well, and he had a reputation too. Everyone in the town loved him.
Exactly. So it wasn't hard.
But that's just it. It wasn't hard for him because he already had influence over the town. And sometimes I think in order to be a good villain, you don't have to have just, you know, intimidation or fear or magic to try and get people to do your will. If you just have either just a good reputation or just something that can sway the people to your side without force, that's almost deadlier in my opinion. I don't know.
Also, sorry, I'm in a distant room.
He's coming back.
What I love about Zemo is that while he's... Throughout the movie, they build him up as though he's another... Like, oh, he's gonna go get the Super Winter Soldier Death Squad and he's gonna fight the Avengers. And we're looking forward to seeing Bucky, Cap, and Iron Man
fighting more Buckies.
Fight these super death soldiers. But then they get there and they're dead. And you're like, what? And then the freaking December 16th thing, you're like, oh! Because the whole movie, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, he's going because this is like a super soldier serum, that's why he's after it. And then it turned out it was Howard Stark. Spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen the film.
Yeah, for whatever reason I haven't seen Civil War, geez, get out of the rock you're living
And then in the moment, you're like, oh, it was just masterfully done, especially the way it was written and directed. Like,
oh, yeah.
It was like, obviously Zemo was wrong, though, because he's like, an empire toppled from within, that's dead. But, hey, if they have something bigger than themselves to fight, they'll get back together in a heartbeat.
See, now that I think about it, everyone says, like, oh, MCU's best villains are, like, you know, Thanos, Killmonger, Loki, not really a villain anymore, Hela. But it's like, you forget the guy that literally broke up the Avengers.
Yeah, he deserves a decent
He honestly should be up there on that list. I honestly might put him above Killmonger, and I know he's the internet's favorite Marvel villain next to Thanos.
Yeah. And so...
Like, the dude broke up the Avengers just through sheer genius.
Yeah, but we're getting off topic. We got more, some brief scenes in the new TV spot. Kat mentions that they all have their teams and they know their missions. Whatever that means, if it means time travel, whatever have you. I really don't want time travel, honestly, but
I know, I don't want time travel either.
But it looks like it's inevitable. So we got that going. it looks gorgeous. Like, the movie looks beautiful. It looks amazing.
I actually decided earlier today I want to go get a manicure done, but I wanted to get it the week of Endgame because what I'm gonna do, I want them to paint my nails purple, like a similar shade of purple as the posters.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they don't charge extra for it, I want them to put on my ring fingers the Avengers A.
Okay.
I was like, getting all ready for Endgame because seriously, I can't wait for it.
Yep.
And these TV spots aren't helping.
No, they're not. They're not helping at all.
And there's still 2 weeks.
Still 2 weeks
Still
left.
2 weeks.
For Endgame. We're doomed.
Let's not talk too much about it because we still need stuff for next week. Because next week is our pre-Endgame episode, which, frankly, I hope we'll still have stuff to talk about. But, anyway.
We're not going to have anything to talk about. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. That's all the Endgame news I think we got.
Yep.
Star Wars Celebration is this week.
Yeah.
We've already got some stuff from that one. We've gotten a few teaser images for Star Wars Jedi Knight Fallen Order. Not Jedi Knight, Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Knight's an entirely different gaming series. So we've got that. That's one thing.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, we got a couple things on Disney Plus. They've given a couple of different things. It's more details. I think these are already out though. It's $6.99 a month.
If you don't know what Disney Plus is, it's basically
It's
the
their new
Disney's
streaming
Netflix.
service. It's Disney's new streaming service. That's why Clone Wars has disappeared from Netflix. That's why a lot of Disney cartoons are disappearing from Netflix.
They just put a bunch of Marvel movies on there, but I'm like, why would you do that when you're just going to take them off in a few months?
I don't know. But yeah, they got, it's going to be $6.99 a month or $69.99 for a year, which if you look compared to, like, Netflix prices, it's pretty darn good.
That's pretty good.
And you get,
Like,
I think you get all of Disney's cartoons, like, all of their classic movies. All of their,
I think Netflix is like $13 a month.
Yeah, it's not bad. Well,
So that's
I mean, also
it's like
because
half.
but Netflix,
it's half the price.
But Netflix does have more stuff.
Right.
Disney's
yeah.
just gonna, but they also we haven't gotten any new details on the Mandalorian. A couple more rumors that I've heard, but nothing confirmed. But we did get one confirmation in terms of Star Wars. Alan Tudyk will be reprising his role as K2SO in the Cassian Andor
Woohoo!
Disney Plus streaming show, which makes me excited because I like K2.
K2 is awesome.
K2's funny. Like, let's face it, K2's funny.
That's awesome news.
Yes, very excited because I was like, oh, we get to see more K2, hopefully. And like, be
There's
great
been
to see.
a couple other shows that have been confirmed.
Yes, they have confirmed like the Loki series, Scarlet Vision and the Scarlet Witch, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and
I
apparently,
cannot wait for that one.
Apparently a Black Widow one, even though she's getting her own movie. But hey, to each their own, I guess.
Hey, they're probably like, we've shunned Black Widow for too long. Let's give her a movie and a series.
Yeah.
Because everyone's been begging for a Black Widow movie.
Well, they're getting one. They're making one.
I know, that's
Like,
just
that's
it. They're
confirmed.
finally getting one, but it took over 10 years
Yeah, it's
to finally
it's
get
interesting
it.
that they're doing it post Endgame. Like, it's just really odd almost because it's like this should almost be before Endgame, so we can like have this neat little package of all of the pre-Endgame stuff and then everything else from here on out, new stuff.
You would think.
And then
Maybe they feel we'll need some feel-good stuff after Endgame. So we need
is it
stuff
gonna be
to
feel
watch.
good? I don't know about that.
I don't know. I
But,
don't really know.
We've also do we have anything else on Disney Plus?
It's been confirmed there's going to be a Monsters, Inc. TV series with Billy Crystal and John Goodman returning as Mike and Sully.
Good.
Which I think that should be fun.
Maybe the Pixar theory will be confirmed. The theory is ever evolving. Like it's amazing how much people have still managed to find ways to fit their new movies in.
No kidding.
And,
That's all the stuff I've seen, at least for Disney Plus.
And Celebration tomorrow.
Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration. Tomorrow is the episode 9 panel. I'm pretty sure.
Tomorrow as in Friday. So
Yeah, Friday. So today when this thing's uploaded. But by the time you watch this or listen to this, it's probably already happened. Most likely a trailer, a title, and hopefully a poster. They have a big, huge mural up there, the Saga
which
mural,
looks amazing.
which is
by the
awesome.
way.
Like it's literally got everything. Like not just the movies. It starts episode 1. It's got like stuff of some of the characters like Qui-Gon, young Anakin, Queen Amidala, Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and then it keeps going. And even it gets past episode 2. There's Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan, but they like look kind of realistic looking. And Ahsoka for once doesn't look completely atrocious. Like, honestly, I've seen a bunch of fan art trying to make Ahsoka, IRL in real life, and she looks ugly.
Oh, yeah, they never make her look good.
She's always too fat in the face.
She's not fat.
It's like, okay, she's animated, but Ahsoka is an attractive character.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when she gets her look upgrade in Season 4. Heck, they had an entire shot where they just panned up her, and almost you could hear the saxophone music playing. Like, she's doing this pose. It's like, are you trying to seduce the boy right now, Ahsoka? Because I think that's what you're going for. And then adult Ahsoka looks good too, but it's like, and so they had that, and they go to episode 3, and then they have stuff for Solo. And
they had
for Rebels, like they had kind of, artist rendition of the characters from Rebels with Thrawn in the background, very very subtle Thrawn in the background. I wish I could get a better picture or video of the mural. And then we keep going, and then at episode 8, there's like a curtain in front of the mural after episode 8. They've done a thing for episode 9 but they're covering it up. They're not going to reveal until tomorrow, and they have said that. People have posted that they have said they're going to reveal the rest of the mural tomorrow.
I'm really hoping it has a good title. There's been no hints as to what it is.
There's been rumors, but I don't believe rumors, especially with Star Wars, because they're always false.
What rumors have you heard?
Nothing. Well, the prequel line, rumors.
Oh,
there's a rumor that the rumors are that there's going to be a reference to a line from the prequels in the episode 9 trailer, which I think is just prequel fans trying to make their will known, like they always do.
They're trying to add more to the prequel meme society.
Yeah, but anyway.
Episode 9.
No, they just rant and rave until they get what they want. They're literal toddlers. Like,
that's this whole Star Wars fandom in general.
Exactly. Star Wars has always been full of stupid people. No offense, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I just can't deal with these people. So yeah, the panel's tomorrow. Hopefully we get a title and a trailer. Most likely we'll get at least a teaser that will show before Endgame, because Disney.
Yeah. What?
So
I'm going to be at work when this happens. I'm going to hate it.
I'm going to be at class. I'll probably just
I'm going to have to try and watch it when I'm having lunch with Mom.
Hey, Rue. My professor's name is Rulon, but he goes by Rue, and he lets us call him Rue. And we're like, hey, Rue, can we just turn on the stream right now, watch the trailer? It's airing right now. I just want to know the title. Like, honestly, I'd be okay with it. Well, actually, I wouldn't be okay with just the title. I'd be like, at the celebration, you air the trailer.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
even though, let's not forget,
I want more!
We got the trailer for The Hobbit, for the Battle of the Five Armies, a month before the movie.
That's true, we did.
We didn't get a trailer until a month before the movie.
I know, we were dying. We're like, the movie's coming out. When is there going to be a freaking trailer?
And I was like, when is this trailer? Like, it's seriously, like, it's kind of a month. And then it aired, like, it's a month left. It was November.
Yeah, that kind of sucked.
It's like, what? I don't know why the reason was for that, but,
I don't know either. Maybe they had some last-minute fixes they had to make. I don't know.
I was like, be grateful we're at least getting a trailer. I was surprised they released anything for Endgame. Honestly, they didn't need anything.
They're still releasing stuff for Endgame.
But they don't need to, honestly. They don't even need a press junket.
Nope. Anyway, that's about pretty much everything we got
our news.
news-wise.
Next week, we're probably going to have a crap ton of Star Wars stuff because Celebration...
Oh, yeah, we'll cover everything from Celebration
because Celebration started today, I'm pretty sure, actually. Today was the opening like, ceremonies of Celebration, and then it's going to be going, I think, for a week. Maybe it's just a weekend thing. I don't really know.
I've
never gone to Star Wars Celebration. It's in Chicago, which is why I'm not going.
Yeah, we'll probably cover everything with Star Wars Celebration next week.
Yep.
And whatever else comes up next week.
It's going to be probably more stuff for, like, The Mandalorian, for the new season of The Clone Wars, for Cassian Andor. Maybe more Disney Plus shows they're going to announce. Maybe even Rian Johnson's trilogy. I don't even know. Maybe some new movies. Maybe we will get that Kenobi movie people are asking for. Honestly, maybe they should just do it, because I would like to see a Kenobi movie as long as it was done right, and it would shut some people up for at least a little bit.
As long as it's Ewan McGregor, I don't care.
Yeah, that'd be... People keep throwing out false rumors. Also, this whole thing like Chris Pratt playing Obi-Wan in the Kenobi movie. I'm like, okay, there's no rumors that Chris Pratt is playing Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, because there hasn't even been announced an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
And I love Chris Pratt, but no.
That's what people
are. It has to be Ewan McGregor.
People are mad about it. They've been mad about it for like 4.5, maybe 5 months since the rumor started, but it's not true whatsoever. People just post this. Star Wars fans are so gullible. You can post anything and say it's confirmed, or not even say it's confirmed, but just say, hey, I heard this rumor, and they will believe it to their core.
Oh, yeah.
It's been going around. It's like, okay, why are you talking about this?
That's why people hated Last Jedi, because they believed every rumor about
Exactly.
Last Jedi.
And Star Wars theory...
And then they were all wrong.
And Star Wars theory, even as a respectable Star Wars fan page, contributes to this problem. And I'm not going to go into that because that's not what we're talking about this week, but... Honestly, it's like Star Wars fans they fall for everything.
Yeah, there's a villain we can talk about, the Star Wars fandom.
Because they're still talking about it. It's like Chris Pratt is not being considered for Obi-Wan Kenobi because guess what?
There's
Kenobi
not
movie. Even a movie been announced. And I know Star Wars is sometimes run by dumb people, George Lucas, but they're not that dumb.
It's just the fandom really, really, really trying for that Kenobi movie.
I know, and it's like I do want it, but the problem is I don't want Disney to give Star Wars fans everything they want because they already did that with Battlefront. Battlefront 2, they literally just gave them what they wanted. They gave them more Clone Wars content.
See, but
That's
then
literally all they've been giving them.
See, but then they didn't give them what they wanted with Last Jedi, and then there's an uproar. Which here's
that's why they've been doing it.
I know.
Because people haven't been shutting up.
Here's what gets me though. I was looking at the IMDb page for that movie.
Last Jedi.
It has a high rating and a high Metascore. The reviews are all terrible. I didn't read. I just kind of
don't.
No.
You don't.
Stop. Listen.
I'm telling the fans. Don't read those.
I didn't read anything. I just looked at the titles, and of course, all the reviews are crap.
Yeah, don't read them.
I looked at Shazam. Its rating and Metascore is a little lower than Last Jedi, and yet it has all great reviews. So I'm like, so why does everyone keeps acting like The Last Jedi is the most horrible movie in the world, and yet I'm like, it has higher ratings than Shazam, which was an incredible movie.
People are legit saying to themselves that those ratings are people being paid off by Disney to rate the movie well. Like, that's what people are saying on IMDb. I made the mistake of reading some of those. They're just dumb. Like, even if you don't like the movie, people are giving it 1s and 0s out of 10. Which, it's not the best Star Wars movie, but it's not. There's no movie, there's very few movies that are that bad.
We've seen literal bad movies. Last Jedi has nothing on any of those. And we've seen movies like, Titanic.
Yeah, that's bad.
That was a bad movie.
That's just a bad movie.
Pod People.
Well,
that's a different level of bad.
Pod People is another level of bad. way other level.
Santa and the ice cream button.
Yeah, those are different levels of
Paul is expressing his distaste for some of the old MS-23K movies we've shown him.
Yep.
Which, yes, are incredibly bad. Those are bad movies. Well, then again, we have Birdemic, made in 2010. And that movie was absolutely atrocious. 12? Well, that's even worse!
That was incredibly low budget. Now, low budget movies can be good. So, there's
Lord of the Rings was low budget.
No, it wasn't.
they said it was low budget.
Compared to others, but not like that. No, Birdemic was probably a $12 budget. Like, but many people have proven that you can make a good movie even with little to no money. That's what all these film festivals are for.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can make a good movie. It's just the fact that it was run by someone who didn't speak very much English and was just bad at directing movies, and his actors were atrocious. One of them got killed off because she was going to acting school. Which is the biggest irony of that
You're
film.
in a movie with people that can't act. You can't go to acting school. So lame.
Can we get a better picture? It's the worst video of that mural.
Honestly. Oh, you're trying to see the mural?
Actually, it's not. No, it's not bad. It doesn't stretch all the way down, but it's out. Oh, the other way.
We're looking at that mural again, which looks so cool.
It's beautiful. Like, it's honestly gorgeous. The artistry
Imagine wrapping that around the upstairs loft.
Look, there's Thrawn. There's Thrawn.
Do they show Thrawn?
Yeah, there's Thrawn right there.
Oh, nice.
And they're all like, human form. Like, Ahsoka doesn't look that bad. There's Ventress, too.
Yeah, Ahsoka actually looks nice.
Ahsoka's there.
Anyway.
This mural is amazing.
That's all that we've got news-wise. Now to our topic, which we already kind of started going into with everything else. Villains.
See.
Probably mostly from like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, but as we've already kind of done.
Talk about Zemo.
Yeah, we'll delve probably into some more from like the MCU, maybe a little bit of Disney, and maybe other shows or movies that we deem fit. Oh my gosh.
There we go. Episode 9 spoiler. Will Smith is Mace Windu.
Young Mace Windu. I don't know, the last time we found out that Will Smith was cast in a beloved role, sort of beloved, well, Genie is beloved. Mace Windu, I don't really know. But the last time he found out he got cast in a role, people were in an uproar. I still didn't understand that. Anyway.
Dom knows something, but Dom's not saying.
Is Dom saying something? What is he doing?
First of all, let's look. Give me a second for this to replay. And
this is Dom Monaghan we're talking about.
Yeah, Dom Monaghan. He's in episode 9. First, hang on. I'm going to let this reload so you can see this beautiful thing I am looking at.
Oh my gosh.
Please restart. Like, honestly, just restart right now. Come on, stop going. This is beautiful. First of all, what are you wearing? It is amazing.
Dude, I really want to know.
You don't get to know yet. Stop! Here,
see what
I got a
put
better
up
idea.
With people?
I got a better. Hi, folks at home. See what I put up? Alright, here.
What is this beauty that
there
I'm
was this
looking
big
at?
Marvel thing apparently where like they had all of their costumes lined up in a row. Have you seen any of this?
Nope.
But look at who goes dancing in front of it.
Oh my gosh,
Look
RDJ!
at this man. And it goes slow mo here.
What is he wearing?
I don't know, but it's beautiful.
Are those his wife's pajamas or something?
I think those are his pajamas.
Oh my
He's wearing like this pink shirt with a black and pink like flowery jacket with matching pants, and it looks amazing.
I love Robert Downey
and
Jr.
his Tony Stark
so much.
and his Tony Stark glasses. Look at him. Bam.
I'm pretty sure
Finger
that's just
guns.
part of his everyday
Finger guns.
wardrobe now.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Finger guns. Ooh yeah, look at me.
I wish we were going fast motion again to see him like
Just go check out Robert Downey Jr. on Instagram, and you'll see what I'm seeing. This is amazing.
I love Robert
Look
Downey
at that.
Jr.
Oh, there's no sound.
Oh, there's a Koye.
Yeah, McCoy. Well, they're all there. Like there's.
Well, I know. I was just
Bruce,
pointing it
there's
out.
Nebula.
Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He's so funny. Oh, the glasses that come off.
What the freak is he doing? Love this man. This is making my day.
Oh my.
Finger guns. You.
We definitely have to go back and do that.
I want to just look at these costumes. High five, cat. Nope, leave me.
We definitely
'cause
have
you're a
to go
statue.
back and do our favorite actors episode at some point, because I would talk about Robert Downey
Yeah, well,
Jr.
here's another video of the mural. This looks gorgeous.
Okay, so now what was going on with Dom?
He's just posting stuff. He always, well, this I actually don't think had anything to do with episode 9. He usually posts his hashtag Be Curious when he's hinting at episode 9 material. By the way, did I?
He
share
does
this
that
one?
with every post, though. That's his saying.
That's true. But
Yes.
like, he'll often post a picture with his Trixie hat with the IX, and he's like, "Oh, I was taking a picture for no reason." It's like, "Shut up, Dom. We know you know something.
Jerk.
We know you know stuff, but you're not telling us because you're a jerk. But we love you because you're hilarious. I don't agree with everything you say, but you're hilarious."
Anyway, villains, put Instagram away.
Villains. Sorry, Instagram is my life.
Well, right now, your life is elsewhere.
I know. Is it though?
Is it though?
But yes, villains. I mean,
Austin loves his villains.
I love villains. Well, villains get cool stuff, and they get cool lines, and they look awesome. Like, Megatron looks amazing. In any form.
Does he, though?
Even in the crappy Michael Bay versions, he look cool.
Played by Hugo Weaving.
Who didn't come... Never mind, I'm not going to talk about...
Hugo Weaving doesn't really like to return for villain roles,
Well,
does he?
he didn't want to return for Red Skull because of the prosthetics, which is understandable.
I understand that.
I feel bad for the stuntmen on Lord of the Rings set who had no choice.
Yeah.
Who every freaking day had to get full outfit. Hugo even only had the face. He didn't have red hands. He just had the face. You get a full thing of it.
Do we know why he didn't want to come back as Megatron?
Because the movies suck.
Fair enough.
He's in all 3 of the original movies. And then, because Michael Bay doesn't know how to tell a story to save his life, he just decides, let's resurrect Megatron again in the 4th one. But Hugo Weaving's like, no, I don't want to come back. So he's like, okay, we'll make him Galvatron. And then we'll give him a different voice. That's how we work around it.
That's what they did in the 4th one?
Yeah, he's Galvatron. But it's still Megatron.
Kidding?
It's just Megatron. It's still Megatron, though.
Wow.
It's not Hugo Weaving. I'm pretty sure I could look it up on IMDb and it's not Hugo Weaving anymore. Because the movies suck. Which is why I think Bumblebee... I saw Bumblebee, by the way. I don't remember if I mentioned that on the podcast. But that's why I think Bumblebee did it better. Because their main villains were minor Decepticons.
And it wasn't Michael Bay.
No, well, Michael Bay produced it, but didn't direct it, which was instantly better. Like you could put it on the poster, not a Michael Bay film. Like, that should
And
be
you're
on...
like, oh, this film's gonna be great.
Like, let's
It's
see,
not Michael Bay.
Transformers... Let's see, Transformers... Last Night. Anthony Hopkins is in the last... What?
What?
5.2, 27 minutes. Oh, Josh Duhamel's in it. I didn't know Duhamel was in it.
I thought you said you saw it.
No, I never saw the 4th or 5th ones because they suck. Let's see,
Stanley Tucci?
Yeah, he's in it. He was in the 4th one too.
Oh!
Aaron! Aaron's back! Sorry, we love Aaron. Hey, it's
From
that
24.
guy. Let's see, where's the voices?
How far back are you going for
I'm trying to find the
Galvatron?
voices. There's no voices for the Transformers yet. Where are the Transformer voices?
I feel like since, it's Transformers, they should
They
be
should be the top build names,
They should
but
be
they're not
near the
here.
front.
I'm getting into the minor characters who don't even have names. They're just American servicemen. Frank Welker is Megatron, because Frank Welker's a good voice actor, but that's all we got. Peter Cullen.
I thought he did just animals. That's all I kept seeing him
Frank
for.
Welker? Oh, he's done plenty of things. He's Scooby-Doo for one, but...
He's freaking Scooby-Doo, really?
Yeah, he did Galvatron. He's done a bunch of Transformer stuff, but he is... Okay, Frank Welker is... Okay, I'll give this to Frank Welker. He is the original voice of Megatron. So is Peter Cullen. The guy who does every Optimus Prime thing.
Oh, yeah?
He was the original Optimus Prime.
Okay.
But yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
Anyway, back on track.
But in Bumblebee, this also helps because villains. In Bumblebee, the only Decepticons you see, the main two villains are minor Decepticons. They can transform into 2 different vehicles, which is new, by the way.
Really?
Yes. And again, I love Bumblebee because it's it's non-committal to the Michael Bay franchise because they had the idea to reboot the whole daggum thing if it did well enough, and it did, so apparently they are going to reboot it. I've heard
Without
that.
Shia LaBeouf.
But it was also one of the things that... It was also kind of a prequel to the original Transformers, so it's halfway we're kind of in this universe, but we're also kind of out of this universe. It's like a non-committal hokey pokey. They just weren't really sure. And that was funny because they're well, if it does, it's also kind of smart. If it doesn't do well, then hey, it's just a prequel to Transformers. If it does do well, then it's a completely new start. And hopefully it is, because I actually really like the girl in it, so I'd like to see her come back, but probably not. But anyway,
The villains.
But the smart big about that is that in Transformers 1, big villain, Megatron. He's the big Transformers villain, everyone knows Megatron. He dies. Well, guess what? We'll resurrect him again, because we don't really have a bigger villain. Except maybe Unicron, but... It's it's a legit thing.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it needs to change the name. Okay, we'll just resurrect him. Transformers 2. Transformers 3, they kill him. Transformers 4, well, what do? Let's just resurrect them again.
You're not Loki, okay?
Megatron wasn't even in Bumblebee.
I'm glad.
But, Shockwave, Soundwave, Starscream, they were in it, briefly. They're more like cameos. Same with Optimus Prime. I don't even know the names of the other 2. They were kind of minor. But they were still pretty decent villains. But that's what I like because it wasn't immediately, here's the biggest of the baddest baddies.
Yeah.
We're going to build up to that. I hope. Megatron wasn't in it. Apparently there's a deleted scene with him in it, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, see, the only way you can get rid with resurrecting a bad guy over and over again is if you're Tom Hiddleston. And you're a fan favorite.
But by then you're not a bad guy anymore, even though you actually tried to annihilate an entire race of people and then threatened to go kill your brother's girlfriend. He did and then try to take over the entire planet. He was not misunderstood. Sorry, I hate how many excuses fangirls make for Loki.
He's a hot villain. Everybody's gonna say that.
I mean, they make excuses for him.
Oh, yeah, I
Gaston's
know.
hot, but no one makes excuses for him.
He's hot in the live action. I never really found him all that attractive in the animated.
But people still don't make excuses for him.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because he's a bad dude.
If anyone's a hot villain, anyone's going to make excuses.
But I've created entire concepts of characters around the idea of combining the winning streak of the good guys with the awesome powers, weapons, and things of the bad guys. The bad guys get the coolest weapons, they get the coolest ships, they get the coolest abilities, they get the coolest everything. Name an Autobot that flies. You can't, because they don't, for stupid reasons. Decepticons can fly. In any Transformer
I know,
game,
why has an Autobot not figured out how to turn into a jet plane?
I don't know. It's honestly, it's just a thing they don't do. I don't know why.
Weird.
There's 2 that do, Jetfire and Jetstream. That's the only ones that do. They have ships they can fly, but they don't transform into anything. I don't know why that is. I just don't know why.
Anyway.
I'm not versed in the lore of Cybertron.
Don't need to
but,
be.
they can fly in any Transformers video game. I preferred playing the Decepticons, because they had more variety and cooler things you could do. And then, the Sith. You can shoot lightning out of your fingers.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Darth Vader and Kylo Ren's TIE Fighters are awesome. Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter is, like, in my opinion, the pinnacle of evil starfighter design.
They have cooler looking lightsabers too.
Yeah, red looks cool. So does purple, but
Because red was the first to introduce the double bladed with Darth Maul.
yeah, but still, that wasn't a Sith Well, it kind of was a Sith concept, but that's a different story.
I'm just saying, in what most people are familiar with, that was when it first introduced.
And then the crossguard saber with Kylo Ren.
Well, and then
and the curved hilt.
Yeah, so you have the curved hilt.
The Sith are
Count Dooku.
not, Sith are aesthetic. Like, that's what they are. They're all about aesthetics, right?
Jedi don't care.
Yeah.
Unless you're Mace Windu, then you have to have purple and stand out.
Well, yeah, because Samuel L. Jackson likes purple.
You're Samuel Mother effing Jackson.
Yep, exactly. But it's like, okay, again, with Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter, the TIE Silencer, honestly, like, just looking at it. I got this little model when I was in Waycross of it, and I was raving all over this thing all freaking day. Just ask Patrick. Because it looks like a combination of, like, a TIE Interceptor, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, a freaking Vulture droid. Everything about it is gorgeous. I wish we saw more of it in The Last Jedi, and I hope we get to see more of it in Episode 9.
That'd be really cool.
I was hoping for, like, a Poe Dameron versus Kylo Ren dogfight.
Dude, can we get that in Episode 9?
Honestly, I'm very hopeful for an Episode 9 because JJ's dogfights in Episode 8 or Episode 7 were beautiful.
Oh, very.
Like, there was only one dogfight technical scene in Episode 8, and it looked cool, but by golly, the dogfighting and the starship and the starfighter stuff in Episode 7 was shot beautifully. From the Falcon chase on Jakku to the Starkiller base attack, beautifully shot. Like, honestly, my favorite scenes of the movie are those ones right there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very hopeful for Episode 9 having a big starfighter, gorgeous battle. Return of the Jedi style, even though I hope this isn't just another ode to Episode 6 or everyone's going to be upset, which I would be probably too.
Yeah, I'd be too.
Because honestly, like, the Episode 7 being like Episode 4 was okay because that's what JJ does. But if he did it again with Episode 8, it'd be like, or with Episode 9, it'd be like, okay, we've done this, JJ. Let's get past the Ewoks. Let's not go back to Endor, please. Let's not build Starkiller base again. Like, honestly, that Rift Tracks would have a heyday. Because at the end of Episode 7, they were like, alright, guys, 4th time's the charm! Let's do it!
Exactly.
Like, let's not have another Starkiller base. Let's do something different, alright?
So now we've established that the villains in Star Wars get cooler and better looking things. What if the...
One ring to rule them all. That's like the coolest thing you could ever have.
And I was about to say, the villains in Lord of the Rings, I mean, yeah, you have the One Ring, which rules all, but I mean, what about everybody else?
In Star Wars? In Lord of the Rings?
In Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Well, how about the fact that Nazgul are basically immortal until Sauron dies?
Yeah, but they don't look cooler. They look terrifying.
Yeah, but they look cool in being terrifying. It's the simplicity of their design that makes them menacing and cool.
It was the addition of the Fell Beast, though, that made them even more terrifying.
Yes.
Or the Witch King's helmet.
Somebody in my class tried to challenge me on something.
Oh, no, this I gotta hear.
I brought up in my screenwriting class how in the movie Citizen Kane, there's this massive freaking plot hole that he utters the words, Rosebud, that sends the main character of this movie on this journey to find out what the heck is Rosebud, and why did the richest, most influential man alive utter that as his last word. That's the premise of Citizen Kane. No one was in the room when he said it. No one was even close enough to the room to have heard him say it because he said it so quietly and he was at the other end of a 40-foot long room. This room is huge. No, and the nurse came in after he died. And this one guy's like, well, if we want to look at it this way, they could have just taken the Eagles to Mordor. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. First of all, Sauron's, in the movie version, at the very least, Sauron's eye could have easily burned them to ash. Secondly, fell beasts, alright? It's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, let's just fly over. That's how it should have ended. There's an army of orcs that have bows and arrows. Probably, if you fly high enough, sure. But Sauron sees you, and then Nazgul would chase you down too.
Even then, the Eagles wouldn't have done it in the first place.
They wouldn't have, and I explained that. It's like that wasn't their job. But the thing is, even if they did, well, guess what? The second a fell beast swoops out, you get Frodo's falling to the ground. Because you can't...
Frodo's dead. Sauron gets the One Ring.
Because there's 9 Nazgul. There's a decent amount of Eagles. I don't really know how many there are.
I don't think there's a specific amount.
But even so, the Nazgul are going to get to their target. Like, they always do. It's like, it's not that easy. Come on, folks.
See, and here's where the logic in your classmate
I know.
is flawed.
I gave it to him a little bit. I'm like, oh, no. I was like, I've done my research. You come into my...
You'd go Stephen Colbert on him.
I didn't
How
say
dare
that.
you?
I wanted to say it, but I was like, nah, it's not.
See, but
My teacher wanted to encourage... my professor wanted to encourage this conversation more.
Oh,
to talk about it.
no.
It's probably a good thing to talk about as writers. Like, it's things you should talk about.
See, but here's the thing. He's trying to point out that that's a plot hole. No, it's not. It's just a convenient thing that everyone wished would have happened.
Yeah.
But the thing is, your point, though, is an actual plot hole. It set up a
Yes.
premise of a movie that made no
Doesn't work.
sense.
Don't work.
Lord of the Rings made sense even without the Eagles.
Yep.
That's just, again, just like an inconvenience to people who watch it, and they think, oh, that's bad writing. Or that's bad screenwriting. No, that's how the author wrote it in his dang book.
And even so, like,
And
the
even they
purpose,
explain
the
it in the
purpose
books.
of the purpose of the journey is to travel in secret. Someone probably would have noticed the eagles on the move.
Yeah.
Even so, they would have found out. Like the fell beasts were constantly. They mentioned this more in the book. The fell beasts, the Nazgul were patrolling. They were out
constantly
looking.
on the move.
They were out looking. Like, I think in the book it mentions off in the distance they saw something flying. Even in Fellowship, where they didn't appear in the movie, that they were on the Anduin. They look off and they see something flying in the distance. It didn't say it, but I think it was hinting that it was the Nazgul. And so they were patrolling. If the eagles were out flying en masse, yeah, the Nazgul would have noticed long before they made it to Mordor. And they would have let Sauron know, and Sauron would have started taking preparations right there. They probably would have been a little bit, but still, the Nazgul would have slowed them down and definitely would have done some serious damage to them.
Don't forget, we also had Saruman and his magic.
Yeah,
Oh,
Saruman. Saruman would have certainly tried to shoot them out of the sky, because he did
And
that on Caedithras.
The Crebain from Dunland.
Yeah, Crebain from Dunland. Can't forget the Crebain from Dunland.
Crebain from Dunland!
They were watching. Saruman could have easily taken him out of the sky. He's coming a friggin' lightning bolt on Caedithras.
See, even if the Eagles would have done it, it wouldn't have worked. But the Eagles wouldn't have done it anyway,
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
the
not
point.
the dang taxi service.
I know, how Shavenda makes it look so easy. It's like,
No.
no, because we got Saruman to deal with, for one.
Well,
We've
because
got,
everyone's...
we don't even know what was happening at Dol Guldur.
No.
Like, we don't even know what was going on there. They probably had some crap there that they could have used. Someone just like, hey, like, guys, Dol Guldur, you got those fell bat thingies? Send them over.
See, but here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, Gandalf was able to summon the Eagles. Why didn't he just summon them then?
He only summoned them twice, technically.
Yeah, he only summoned... Well, actually... Oh,
He
yeah,
summoned
he
all of
summoned
them once in The Hobbit, and he summoned them again
in Fellowship.
in Fellowship. They came of their own. Well, technically, Radagast got in the movie. I don't know how. I remember exactly how in the book. In the book, they just showed up both times. They're just like, "Hey, we're here." Flap.
I think in Battle of the Five Armies, they made it seem like he told Radagast, hey, go get the Eagles.
Well, yeah, but in the book, I forget how. I think they just showed up.
I think they did, too.
Actually, Beorn did show up, so I think that there was like a Gandalf was like, "Hey, go."
There's probably some communication there somewhere.
Yeah, probably not with Radagast because he wasn't in the
Well,
book.
especially because we don't know what Gandalf did through most of that in
we
the
do.
book. He was just gone.
Yeah, we do.
Well,
Through the appendices.
well, yeah, but in the actual book, we
That's
don't
true.
know.
We don't know.
But anyway, no. The only reason it worked is because Gandalf
Gwahir.
saved Gwahir, and Gwahir owed him a favor. And so
But you
he
could argue
only
one.
helped...
You could argue one favor. He did 2 favors.
But he only helped Gandalf out of a fix. Although, granted, they did help the
others were
the
just
company of
like,
Thor
yeah.
and Oakenshield. Yeah, they just happened to be there. But like, okay, we'll help you get out of a jam.
even if the Sauron still had, well, actually, I don't know in the book how much power Sauron had because he was a physical. He had physical form in the book. I don't know how much power he had because he put so much of it into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he still had even a fraction of his power, he still probably would have been able to do something to the Nazgul or to the Eagles if they flew over Mordor.
But even then, they're like, it is not our job to like fight your
Nope.
battles. We are just guardians of Middle Earth.
owe
We
you
watch.
Some, a couple favors, but still. But
Yeah, we'll
villains. But
aid you
anyway,
when it's necessary, but that's
but yeah,
not their
honestly,
job.
like, Saruman's cool too. Saruman's got some cool crap. He made a freaking army.
Really quick, if anybody listening still argues the Eagles theory, just stop listening now. I just, no.
No. Don't encourage people to
Okay.
not listen to our podcast.
Okay, well, just don't comment. I hate fighting people on
Comment,
this.
but don't. No, you can comment if you want. Just
don't comment.
No, comment, please. Just don't argue it.
Don't
I'm
comment
talking
about
to-
the Eagles.
I'm talking to you, Morgan. Don't just don't comment back. Just
You
don't-
nearly argued in your own class.
I made my point very clear, and he conceded very quickly. So I didn't need to argue. And
yes, but your teacher.
But you have a
kept
tendency to
encouraging
argue more than I do. If you want to
it. Are
comment,
we really
comment.
bringing this up right now?
Yes,
Seriously?
I tried to move on. I was talking about Saruman.
Moving on.
I was talking about Saruman.
Moving on.
You freaking make an army, like, through, like...
He literally breeded an army
It's
in
just
his
creepy.
basement.
Out of mud. Actually, in the book, it doesn't really give a description of how it works. They just kind of think they made that up for the movie to be like, how the heck does this work?
Well, you see...
Yeah, we're
But
not...
an
nope,
orc and
nope,
a goblin,
stop
no. Imagine trying to explain that to people. But really, though...
But they get cool stuff, and Sauron looks amazing. And let's not forget the big bad Melkor, Crown of Silmarils, Hammer of the Underworld,
That's just OP.
the creation of dragons, Angband. Okay, we were talking about this today. I won't go. There was a guy in our class who was for his like TV script was writing kind of a high fantasy type series that is also more rooted in modern social, what is called social commentary.
Okay.
And they talk about how Lord of the Rings doesn't really have that it's more just high fantasy. I'm like, that's not entirely true, because if you look at Isengard and even Melkor himself, Tolkien's attacking industry. He's just straight up going after industry.
Said that.
He's just straight, even Saruman in the movie, the old world will burn in the fires of industry. Like, he's literally making commentary on the expansion and the industry of man.
And the destruction of nature.
Exactly. But then the inevitability that nature's gonna beat you. Like...
When the trees come out and start
but even
sacking
Angband,
your fortress.
Angband is literally like the fort has 3 giant pillars of smoke from all of the stuff they're making inside. Angband was Melkor's Morgoth's fortress, technically. Melkor and Morgoth are the same dude, but they called him Morgoth after the fall of the 2 trees.
A little more Silmarillion info for you.
Yeah, but he had Angband where he was breeding dragons, making war machines. He was converting Maya into freaking Balrogs.
Mm-hmm.
Gandalf and the Balrog are technically the same race.
That's what's scary.
Well, in the book, I think the Balrog initially was Gandalf size, but then grows bigger.
See, and I almost think that's what makes the scene at the Bridge of Khazad-dûm even more epic.
They could have been friends. We don't know that. They probably weren't. But
maybe that's why he turned around to face him. He's like, I have to face down an old friend.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah,
that almost makes it a little more heartbreaking.
They have a very confusing name in some of them. Valar or something like that. It's not a very good name. It's not one of Tolkien's best. But they get some pretty, like the villains, and they get some pretty cool but creepy stuff. Like, so anyway, they're like, oh yeah, Lord of the Rings doesn't really have any of this commentary and on real life stuff. I'm like, it actually does. Not like a lot. There's definitely not a lot. But he goes after industry. Tolkien was not a fan of it.
Well, and who said fantasy had to have social commentary?
Well, they don't say that, but it's one of those things that sometimes it does, and people like that. Because, like, I don't think Game of Thrones has particularly a lot of it. I've never watched it or read it, but I don't think it does. I have no idea. And Lord of the Rings certainly doesn't. I don't think Chronicles of Narnia does either. That's not a bad thing.
That's just it. Fantasy, I almost think, is a way to get away from social commentary. That's why it's fantasy.
Science fiction can be that way too, but I think science fiction is more prone to taking on social commentary. But either way, it's one of those things that this is what this guy was doing with his show. And I was like, well, Tolkien did that. And he did that with Saruman especially, because, you know, it's like cutting down trees to build it up, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, nature's gonna beat you, because nature does what nature does. And you see that in some places. You know, nature takes back what was it's hers. We'll just say hers, because they, you know, Mother Nature and all that.
That's true.
So Saruman and Sauron, they're not, in Morgoth, they're not exempt from the cool bad guy stuff. They had cool fortresses, they had cool stuff.
Then you have Smaug.
Yeah, Smaug, yeah, he's a friggin' dragon. Dragons
who took an entire mountain for himself.
Yeah, he's weak. He's weak, like.
In comparison
and Calagon could have crushed that mountain.
I was saying,
Calagon don't care about your gold.
In comparison to Calagon, yes.
I'd love to see Calagon full size.
Yeah, can we see him in just some film form?
Smaug was huge, man, and he looked beautiful. I'd love to see full Calagon, like in the level of quality they gave Smaug. Smaug's probably the size of one of Calagon's scales, maybe a couple of them. Calagon's huge. And we've talked about Calagon. I'd love to see Calagon just like a big hunk of dragon.
See, that's a villain right there. One that can crush whole mountains.
He was a minor villain. He showed up and then died.
Which sucks.
As huge as it's literally, you've never heard of this dragon before this moment, and then he shows up and he's this bigger than the mountains, and then he dies. And then he falls on Angband.
And destroys it.
And breaks the rest of the world. Literally crushes mountains underneath his death. And it's like,
I almost wish Tolkien would have done more with him.
And Morgoth's like, well, you were a waste of time. It's like, Morgoth wasn't there, but he was probably pissed. He's like, I spent a lot of time on that dragon. Heck, his first dragon lasted longer.
That's true.
And he had no wings.
He did have no wings.
He was a smart dragon, though. And Calico was probably more brute strength. Other villains we talking.
I say we've come from some Star Wars. We've come from Lord of the Rings.
And we talked about Zemo and how Zemo is not one of these Palpatine, Vader, Megatron, Sauron-y types. And those are sometimes good villains in and of themselves, like Gollum.
Oh yeah,
Gollum's not superpowered.
He's just a creepy little.
I mean, you could argue
thing.
he's more of a trickster than a villain, but still, villains can be tricksters, or tricksters can be villains. Excuse me. Not all tricksters are villains.
Yeah.
But it's
So
like
now-
he could be considered. He's a villain in some. He's like a minor villain. Well, he's not a minor villain. He's pretty major actually. But
So now, in regards to MCU villains, who would you say is the best?
what I say is the best. Well, Thanos. Am I exempt from saying Thanos? Like, are we gonna have to exclude him because he
No.
almost without a shadow of a doubt, the best villain of all the MCU?
Who would you say maybe is the second best?
Second best.
Because Thanos, we can all agree, is probably the best right now, considering
Yeah, I'd probably
he's the
say-
first one to actually pretty much win almost.
Well, I'd probably say Zemo because Zemo was technically the first one who won.
I guess that is true. He got what he wanted. He got them to fight.
Yeah, and it's because of Zemo that Thanos was able to do his thing. Now, it wasn't
That
like
is
they
true.
planned that out. And the reason why I think Thanos is amazing is because they had, they did very little development of him in the entire Infinity Saga. In almost 20 movies. They did very little development of him because they saved most of that from Infinity War. But then, I was thinking about it, there's like this huge, like...
I actually read a thing that said they almost weren't even going to use Thanos.
Well, yeah, they have plenty of other villains to choose from.
Like, they showed him in Avengers almost, like, just for kicks. But then they were just kind of like... They had like, no plans for Thanos at first. He wasn't even going to be the big baddie. Which I'm kind of like, who would you have used
They've
then?
got plenty of others, trust me.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But it's kind of like...
But it's one of those that...
What would Infinity War have been if we didn't have
Well, it was
Thanos?
smart. Like, this is honestly more of how, Transformers series should have been. Not a 20-odd movie series, but in the sense that you start out with lesser villains, then you build up to this bigger guy. This guy who's tougher than all of them. Who's also, more developed than all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, the best part about Thanos is that when Infinity War happens, it's the coming together of the entire MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is built to this, literally. They said that in the trailers. It's all been leading to this. And you realize just how much, Tony saying Thanos has been inside my head for 6 years since he sent an army to Earth, and it's like, yeah, it's true.
It's true. He's been, in the background.
And we can see why Tony is so hell-bent on getting him, because he realizes, my only curse is you, he says. He's like, he doesn't know where to put his anxieties, his anger since Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
He doesn't know where to put it.
And it's because of Thanos.
And then he finds out this, he sent Loki, and he's like, and he says, this is it. He very slightly whispers it, but it's obvious. This is it. He's like, and from there, you can see it changes in Tony. Tony's like,
oh, yeah.
going after this guy. Gotta go after this guy. Not only because he's gonna wipe out half the universe, but this is the guy who I have to blame for my problems. Like, everything that has gone wrong in Tony's life.
He essentially, he ruined his life.
Everything, and this is another reason why Thanos is so important. Everything post-Avengers is Thanos' fault.
Pretty much.
So think about it. Iron Man 3 led him to the... because he sent the army to Earth, because he sent Loki and the army of Chitauri to Earth, and the whole, flying the nuke through a portal in space. Tony gets his anxieties, and he wants to protect everything he can't live without, and he wants to protect the Earth more than anybody else. He creates all his suits. He goes through that whole thing in Iron Man 3. He destroys the suits. Then he doesn't stop, because he... Like he says in Civil War, he doesn't want to stop, and he wants to protect Pepper. And
Well,
so
I think he just lightened up, because he kept making suit after suit after suit after
He did.
suit.
He lightened up, but he also said that he was...
He was only just making one suit for himself, or just improving on it.
He had other suits.
Well, yeah, but he didn't have, a crap ton in his basement.
But he then... But then the whole kind of thing with Ultron, that happened, and then that led to the destruction of Sokovia and the creation of the enemy Zemo, And then, of course, the splitting up of the Avengers and everything else after that is Thanos' fault. So Tony now finally has a target.
Mm-hmm.
You are to blame for everything that went wrong.
Pretty
Even though
much.
technically, that's Odin. Odin is the fault of the entire MCU. Like, the entire MCU wouldn't exist if Odin wasn't such a bad parent.
I'll say I've seen people argue that it's because of Loki that everything happened.
Oh, no, it's Odin.
Well, yeah.
Everything, for whatever reason, Odin left the Tesseract on Earth. For whatever reason, Odin didn't raise Hela right.
Nope.
For whatever reason, he didn't tell Loki, like, he was bad parent to Thor and Loki. Everything he created a fake Infinity Gauntlet for whatever reason, which they still have not fully explained.
Nope.
I hope they do take a little bit of time.
I
in
almost
Endgame
think
to
they
explain.
did that just so they had a joke in Ragnarok.
No, the Infinity Gauntlet was in Thor.
That's true,
You
it was.
barely see it in Thor, but it's there.
That's
and
true.
And so people are like, wait, if it's there, how does Thanos have it? So they did that for the sole purpose of trying to explain that, but still created more questions. I actually hope if they do go back in time, that they actually find a way of explaining this Odin Infinity Gauntlet. Because it's not Odin-sized, it's Thanos-sized.
So are we saying that Odin is the big bad villain of the MCU?
He's not a big bad villain, but it's all his fault.
He ruined
Like, a lot
everything.
of the fan theories say that Thanos got the idea of an Infinity Gauntlet from Odin. But it's odd, because the gauntlet is not Odin-sized. It's Thanos-sized. It's big.
Screw you, All-Father!
Exactly. It's like, that's the theory, is like, Odin created this concept of, oh, I'll just tell everyone I gathered all the Infinity Stones, so they're all scared of me because I could just snap my fingers, even though, again, it's Thanos-sized. It's not small.
Maybe he decided he would grow his hand or something. I
I don't know.
know.
We don't actually know how old Thanos is in relation to Odin. Odin definitely probably older than him, but
He's way older.
still, it's one of those that's like, I would like a little bit of explanation, just so we could ease our minds as to what the heck the backstory is of that gauntlet.
Yeah.
But also because Thanos, again, he's almost a relatable villain in a way.
He actually had, like, almost logical motivation.
Yeah, it makes sense on paper.
Yeah.
It's not good.
There are a couple things where you kind of just go, you probably could have gone about that way differently, but...
In terms of writing or in terms of Thanos?
Thanos and his motivation.
Well, yeah, but obviously he's obviously not a good guy. He's obviously still crazy.
I know. But again, like,
but he doesn't think he's crazy.
In some ways, when you think about it, you're like, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, there are some better alternatives if he wasn't, such a bad guy.
Yeah.
But that's just it. He was relatable and almost
But he's still crazy.
Oh, yeah. But even then, I like how he's, he's this Titan,
And he's
type person, and yet he's still portrayed as very human.
And another reason I really liked Thanos in Infinity War is because in every other MCU movie, there was no doubt in my mind that, well, except for the Civil War, there was no doubt that they were going to beat the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Zemo, when they got to that final fight in Civil War, you literally lost all hope. You're like...
Well, crap.
Like, I honestly thought that, Zemo was going to pull the trigger. I didn't think Black Panther was going to save him. It was a very quick scene, but I was like, oh, here's where Zemo dies.
Yep, thought that too.
But I was like, even if he dies, they still lose.
Yeah.
But, like, that final fight happened, and you knew after that there was no going back. There was no, like, let's stop doing this and let's capture Zemo. There was no going back from that. But the whole time, with Thanos, and I also love this because in every movie, oh, they're too strong to be stopped. The Emperor's too powerful. They always say that. But they're always not. And with Thanos, every scene, almost every scene, they're always like, oh, he's too powerful. Like, Bruce is like, he's got 2 stones. That makes him the strongest creature in the universe. Thor is what... And then Gamora's like, get there before he's too strong to be stopped. And Thor's like, he already is. And they keep saying this in every freaking scene. He proves it.
And he keeps getting more and more stones.
Yeah,
and you just go, what the crap?
Almost every scene he's in, he gets a new stone.
And, like, I felt myself just getting on the edge of my seat, like, no, he has another stone. No. He has another stone again. Oh, crap. No, he can't get the last one.
Every freaking scene. They actually, is the only time I was like, I don't think they're going to be able to stop this guy.
Oh, I thought that too. Especially after he got the time stone, I was like, oh, crap.
And one of the things that I loved about what they did, this is more in terms of just mechanics of the movie, is how do you make a character that can literally bend time and space to his will? Like, how do you have your characters fight that guy?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, and in the fight on Titan, you really just felt like they were doing nothing more than stalling him. Until, of course, well, once they almost got the gauntlet off, you were like, you suck, Star-Lord. But after that, you were like, you can't do anything. Like, they're just throwing pebbles at him. Like,
They're done for.
Tony only got him to bleed.
Just barely.
Like, honestly, yeah, barely. Drop of blood. Like, it was nothing.
See, but that's just it. In just about any other movie almost in existence, you get the feeling like, oh yeah, they're gonna defeat the big bad villain no matter who it is. This whole movie, I'm sitting there going, I don't think they have a chance.
The only other movie that I will say gives an actual, like, it gave you a feeling of hopelessness. And in that final scene when he's coming towards Vision and Scarlet Witch, it's just impending doom. You're like, they can't stop him. Like, every time they go at him, you're like, just let him walk, guys. You're not gonna do anything. And even when she blew it up, it was like, oh, crap. I was like, oh, they blew it up. I was like, oh, crap, he has a time stone.
No!
And I had a brief glimmer of hope when Thor showed up.
Yeah.
When he didn't stab him, when he just stabbed him in the chest, I'm like, this is not gonna end well, is it?
Nope.
And then he snapped, and I was like, there it is.
I know, he snapped, and I just went, no. No.
I actually had a
He actually did it.
I actually had a faint glimmer of hope for a second, and I was like, wait, there's a fourth movie. Crap. And it's part 2. I was like, ah, crap.
Were you gonna bring up another villain just now?
I was talking about the only other movie that I would say, the only other villain that actually gives you a feeling of hopelessness like Thanos did, I would actually say is Return of the King.
Yeah?
I mean, because there was, honestly, there kind of was no doubt that they're gonna destroy it.
Well, especially if you've read the books.
But really, in the MCU, even when they defeat the villain, there's usually no aftershock of defeating it. The villain's gone, happy day. There's a couple of...
They all drive off in their cars or on their motorcycles.
Except, of course, in Civil War, where the villain's imprisoned. Yeah, we got him. At what cost, though?
Yeah, at what cost?
Like, at the worst cost.
The Avengers are split. Some of them are in a...
Some are in a prison, but Cap freed them. But
yeah.
But it's like... But the feeling of hopelessness, there's a lot of hopelessness in Return of the King. Even when you get a glimmer of hope, like, during the Battle of Minas Tirith, everything's just crap.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, man, everyone's gonna die. Even when the Rohirrim show up, the Mumakil show up to ruin everybody's day. And of course, there's these moments of hope.
What the F?
I mean, this is moments of hope. Like, of course, Aragorn shows up after that with the Army of the Dead, and literally an army that can't be killed. You're like, well, we're gonna win now. But even in the Battle of the Black Gate, it gives you plenty of moments of hopelessness. And even with, Frodo in the ring on the inside of Mount Doom, you're like, how's this crap gonna turn out? But afterwards, of course, it's not all hunky-dory.
I do like that they portrayed that, too.
Well, that was in the book, too. That's not the movie choice.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, I like that Tolkien made that choice. That it's not just,
we
go home and everything's fine. No.
I mean, think about a person like Frodo Baggins. Just the Hobbit in general.
He went through hell and back.
Exactly. Even in the book when he's older, he's lived in Hobbit. He's a Hobbit. They know nothing but bliss and happiness and drinking and eating.
And peace.
And peace. And you ask this one guy who's never left the Shire. You're going to ask him to walk all the way to the worst of it, initially just to Rivendell, but you're going to ask him after where he volunteers, which is a big moment for a character like Frodo, to walk all the way down to the worst place imaginable. And yeah, you're going to throw a ring in a mountain of fire.
Without going through a whole bunch of crap
and
first.
This ring is also going to try to kill you. It's going to try to get you killed.
It's going to try and corrupt your mind.
It's going to corrupt your mind. It's going to corrupt the minds of your friends. It's going to corrupt, people who have previously had it are going to try to take it from you.
Yeah, it's going to draw your enemies towards you.
Because you got Bilbo tries to take it, Gollum tries to take it, Sauron's always trying to take it back. Like
the ring race followed them, tried to get it.
Yeah, the ring race it's just crap. This ring is nothing but crap. And so portraying it as, and also the ring, you could argue, is a villain. It's probably an extension of Sauron as a villain.
Yeah.
But it's a villain. Because the ring does this. It tries to corrupt everyone around him. Frodo resists, only until Mount Doom. When the ring makes one final desperate attempt to save its own skin, or its own metal, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know, it's just one of these things. And I really want to talk, because we've gone over this a long episode. I've talked about Thrawn, of course, but...
We're jumping back to Star Wars.
Well, yeah, I think I've said my piece of Lord of the Rings. But I guess we can finish off with the fact that Frodo is not hunky-dory at the end. Frodo is not going back to the way he was, and thus is...
Because frankly, he's changed. He's forever changed. He went through crap. You don't easily come back from that.
Yeah. And so...
Would you necessarily say he had PTSD?
Yeah, I would certainly say so.
See, he probably doesn't
and
have
Tolkien probably experienced that for himself. He was a soldier.
I would imagine, though, that maybe... Well, I don't know, because...
With PTSD plus, you just change as a person when you go through that kind of crap. When you almost die on several occasions, when when you almost get eaten by a spider.
I mean,
when the fate of the world rests on your shoulders, that changes you.
It probably wasn't PTSD like what...
Not typical, no.
Not like probably like what Tony Stark was going through, or like maybe John Watson and Sherlock
at least
kind
not
of
in the
thing.
way it was written.
It's probably more like PTSD depression kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I imagine PTSD has multiple ways of it.
Yeah, I went through all this, come back home, and nobody knows a thing I've done, a thing I've been through, and I'm just supposed to pretend like everything's okay.
I know. That's the vibe you definitely get from the book and the movie. Frodo says it. It's not the same. I can't stay here. And it's sad, because the rest of them seem to do just fine, but Frodo went through probably a lot more than the rest
Frodo went through the worst.
Yeah, it's again, we're running out of time. Technically, we can go for as long as we want, but...
Yeah, we could.
It is late. Oh my gosh, it's late. Sorry, I'm not excited. I'm getting up early tomorrow. But, I've talked about Thrawn before.
Oh, yeah.
And... Thrawn, in my opinion, best Star Wars villain, but
he's a villain that doesn't even like fight or do any of the other typical villain things.
That's another reason why Sauron is also good, because Sauron doesn't need to come down and do it himself. He could.
Nope.
He doesn't need to.
He almost did.
He almost did in the movie. And he didn't. He did have a physical form in the book, and technically never said that he didn't have a physical form in them. They do imply that the eye is his spirit, but it's like Thrawn doesn't need to fight. Thrawn does come down in Rebels. He comes down occasionally to do some dirty work. He doesn't really fight. He shoots a pistol at most, but
yeah,
he can fight. The dude's actually pretty cut. Like he goes hand to hand with Agent Callus, who turns to the rebellion, but he beats the crap out of Callus. But Thrawn, he's a strong dude. He's so freaking small. Like I love Thrawn because most villains, like you said, they're super powered and they'll just charge in. Thrawn, he hangs back.
Nope.
He's like, I'm gonna see what happens. He sometimes let the rebels win. There's an entire scene in one of his second episode where they're escaping, and they're like, shoot him down, and Thrawn's in his cruiser is like, nah, they've earned it. He literally says that. They've earned their victory today. He literally just fly past his ship. He's like,
you're like, huh?
They've earned it. I'm like, he's a good sport. I'll give him that. Because he knows he can crush them. The only reason why Thrawn...
most of them would be like, curse you, rebels! Kind of thing.
Like, the only reason Thrawn... And you could also argue the only reason Palpatine lost was because of things they didn't foresee, like little things that the Ewoks were insignificant so insignificant to Palpatine. He's like, that's not gonna be a problem.
He didn't think they would join the
cause
of the rebellion.
You could argue, as dumb as it is, they wouldn't have been able to destroy the bunker and the shield generator without the Ewoks' help. So
that's not dumb.
And Emperor Palpatine didn't see that coming. And that's the point. And this is the point of Palpatine and of Thrawn. The only reason Thrawn lost both times, because he had the rebels right where he wanted them both times, was because of things he could not have possibly foreseen. The first time was Bendu, the Force-sensitive space monkey, the really big Force-sensitive space monkey. There's no way he knew he existed.
That is a phrase I never thought I'd hear.
Like, honestly, he had them dead to rights. He had them. He had them, at one point, he could have just literally shelled them to death, but decided not to. One, because he was ordered to take them alive so they could be publicly executed. Like, he literally was just bombarding their shield generator in one of the greatest orchestral moments of the show. He's just bombarding their shield generator in the biggest game of chicken ever devised from orbit. 6 Star Destroyers just plummeting the surface of the planet with bullets. And right before the shield breaks, he's like, alright, hold your fire. Almost just to let them know, I can destroy you immediately. But he's not gonna, because he's under orders to go get them. And 2, he knows he can beat them. In any form. And the only reason he didn't is because of giant space monkey turned himself into a storm cloud and destroyed his walkers.
It's almost like everything's a game to him.
It is a game! Life is a game! People are books to read. That's all they are to Thrawn. That's another thing. He's so cold and distant. Like, even Palpatine sort of has a... at least the slightly human side, Thrawn is a cold-hearted man. He's so distant, like, there's nothing. He only connects really with one person, and that's Eli Vanto, because he's like, this kid is a smart kid. And he could be me. He could be me. He's not me. Could be. And Eli Vanto, that's from the book. He goes through a massive change in of himself. And Thrawn's also interesting because he's not your typical I'm evil bad guy. Thrawn actually, at least in the book, he's kind of a good guy in some ways. He thinks the Empire is kind of the lesser evil. He sees the Empire as a force because he says there's bigger evils in the galaxy that he thinks the Empire could defend against. He didn't think the Republic or the Separatists could, but he's like, this Empire, I think they could. So he sees the Rebellion as a threat to that almost peace, he would refer to it. I think the show does make him more out to be kind of more evil and villainous than the book does, per se. That's because Timothy Zahn didn't write it. And the second time he lost, when he ultimately lost, he didn't count on the appearance of sudden hyperspace traveling space squids.
That is also something I never thought I'd hear.
Space squid whale, I should say.
That's even weirder.
Like, he didn't know what was going to happen. Dave Filoni knew, because Dave Filoni's like, I don't do filler episodes. You guys think I do filler episodes? You're wrong. I have a plan for everything I do.
Oh my gosh.
Because he even said that in the final interview for the show. He's like, "Hi, y'all thought it was a filler episode with the Purrgil. Guess what? It wasn't. I knew what I was doing." Because it was in the middle of season 2, just kind of this random episode. I was like, okay, this is interesting.
What is this?
He was like, it wasn't filler. I knew what I was doing.
Anyway, really quick, I just want
It's
to...
late, sorry.
I wanted to ask this before we wrap things up. I won't say best because, I don't know, I think I know who you might mention, but that's kind of not the way I want to go. Classic Disney. Like, classic Disney villain, like your favorite. Which one would you say?
Like, how far back is classic?
Well, like all the cartoons, we grew up with and stuff.
I mean, we've talked about Scar.
Yeah, we talked about Scar.
I'd definitely say Scar, but I'm gonna choose someone different just because we talked about Scar.
Who would you say?
I'm trying to think, because there's some good ones. Some ones that I don't really know that well. I'd say Jafar.
Jafar?
Yeah, a classic Disney. I'd say Jafar.
Yeah?
Because I'm also kind of blanking on other Disney villains.
What's
Scar's definitely, like, top tier.
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy's, like, the epitome. Nope, sorry, Hades.
Hades?
Hades because he's also very enjoyable.
He's flaming.
He is very flaming.
What's funny, though, is with Jafar, you never really actually know his motivation. I mean, he wants to be Sultan, of course, but it's just kind of like...
He's evil. He wants to be Sultan. He's a sorcerer. He wants more power.
But I still just wonder, like, how did you get...
Jafar, my most trusted advisor.
Even though he's completely the epitome of evil right there.
The Royal Vizier. Why, that would be me.
See, the bad thing is, I don't think we're going to get that smooth,
I
cool
know,
voice in the new one.
But yeah, I'd say Hades, because Hades also is a very enjoyable character. He's a very funny villain.
Guys, Olympus would be
Olympus
that
would-
way.
This is great.
He looks so
Hades
dumb.
he's put up with so much crap the whole movie. He's like, he's literally the epitome of I'm done.
Please, he's a guy.
He's a guy.
See, even he knows that men are stupid.
I love that there's so much sass in this.
That's my favorite meme in
Where
the
he's just
world.
like,
And she's all looking like, boy, don't talk to me.
I know, it's amazing.
And then what, the definition of flirting and being intimidating? Biting the lip, raising your eyebrows. There's a picture of Hades and go, I don't know which one he's doing.
It's both. That's literally it. He's bald. Well, mostly because Hercules is like, I think, my all-time favorite Disney cartoon growing up.
That's true.
I watched it more than certainly any other cartoon.
Yeah, you did.
I've always loved, I guess that maybe that spawned my love for Greek myth, but Greek myth's cool. Plus, the animation is very great.
Oh, yeah.
What about you?
I won't say he's my favorite. I still stand by my whole Gaston thing, but as for my favorite Disney villain, from at least classic Disney, that That's tough. I know we've already mentioned it. I probably would actually say Scar, probably.
Yeah, Scar's. I mean, Lion King is arguably the greatest Disney movie of all time.
I will say, though, I'm only saying this just off of things I've heard from Paul and seen, like, on, like, YouTube or Tumblr, even though I haven't actually seen the movie.
Frollo
From Hunt for Notre Dame.
messed up.
Oh, he's beyond messed up.
Frollo's messed up.
If I could swear, I would say he's effed up.
He is effed up.
He's effed up.
He is weird. Like his song is generally regarded as second best of all Disney villains.
He does have an interesting song.
People say Hellfire should be number one. I'm like, no.
No.
Because Hunchback of Notre Dame, I've actually never seen it.
I only watched like the first 5 minutes and then we stopped.
Not as classic as Lion King.
No.
Why do you think that's getting a live action before? Then again,
That's
The
very
Maleficent
true.
was technically the first live action adaptation. She's not the greatest. She's cool and all.
Well,
I want to give an honorary shout out to a villain who's probably, to a couple of them. I guess you would call them B villains from Disney's repertoire of sequels that weren't as good. Probably as good. Probably are not as good as we remember them. But our honorary mentions because they almost have like a guilty pleasure place in my heart.
Now you're blanking on the
what's
name.
her bucket from Lion King 2?
Zira? No. Yeah, Zira.
Zira. Honorary mention is Zira. She's got a pretty decent song in and of herself.
We listened to her song recently, and I just kind of go,
My
yeah,
Lullaby's
she's a little crazy.
My Lullaby's a pretty cool song.
That's my lullaby. Now you're blanking again.
Nope. Saluk.
Saluk! I was hoping you'd say him.
Saluk from arguably the better of the Aladdin sequels, Aladdin the King of Thieves. Mostly because Robin Williams has returned, and that's the only thing.
Return of Jafar did kind of suck, but I loved King of Thieves.
Return of Jafar does suck. Mostly because it doesn't have Robin Williams. It's everybody else except Robin
It's
Williams.
not just that. Everything about it kind of sucked.
I remember liking King of Thieves. Again, Robin Williams coming back.
I still love King of Thieves. We watched it like
I haven't watched
months
it.
ago.
That's the thing.
And
I say this because
it.
like I remember liking these movies. I just like I don't know if they're actually as good as I remember them.
I know there's some you go back and you're kind of like, this isn't as good, but I was young, I didn't know any better. But then there's still some I watch and just go, I still love it.
Yeah, and so
we need to watch King of Thieves again.
Honorary mention again, John Rhys Davies as well
as Kasim.
Yeah, as Kasim.
Well, and then Saluk was Lumiere.
It's the same guy.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, it's
that's amazing.
Shoot, what's his name?
I don't remember.
I know his name. What's his name?
Saluk punches a shark. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He also has these cool...
No, he wrestled a shark.
Yeah, but he punches. He comes out.
Yeah, no, he didn't Angelina Jolie.
Another honorary mention for villains, Morgana.
Ursula
this or
Ursula that.
Or Morgana, why can't you be more like your sister, Ursula?
That was with the same voice actress, right?
I'm finding out more amazing things every day.
Yeah, because same thing. I watched.
I didn't know that.
Well, growing
That
up,
almost makes it better.
growing up, I kept thinking it's maybe the same. I wasn't sure they sounded similar, and they're sisters.
It's the same lady.
Same thing.
Well,
Months ago, I rewatched the movie. I was like home by myself for whatever reason. I felt like watching it. I looked it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was right.
You know that Lucy is the same voice as Miss Hattie in both Despicable Me's, right?
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Same lady. Same one.
Oh, Jerry Orbach. That's
that guy,
Lumiere.
Yeah. Isn't he the guy from Law and Order or something like that?
Yeah, he was one of the guys in Law and Order. Sadly, he's dead now.
Yeah, that's upsetting. But
He's the.
But yeah, I think those are kind of 3 honorary childhood mentions. I can't really think of any others.
See, now, a lot of people say that Little Mermaid 2 is one of those unnecessary sequels. I loved that one. And some...
You could probably argue, it's probably a little unnecessary.
It's weird with that one, because I've seen people say it was an unnecessary sequel, but then I see this a lot on Pinterest and on Instagram. But then a lot of people come back and say, oh, Melody is the most forgotten Disney princess.
Yeah,
like, so do we love Melody or do we hate her?
Yeah, Melody has been a little
I love Melody.
She's been overlooked.
Oh, very overlooked. See, that was one of the ones that I watch again and I go, I still
And
love
so
this.
I give those honorary mentions because they're not necessarily considered classic Disney. Like, Little Mermaid, classic Disney. Lion King, classic Disney. Aladdin, classic Disney. I don't think their sequels are considered as classic, mostly because they're lesser known, lesser liked, in some instances.
Yeah.
That's why I give them honorary mentions. Plus, again, they're kind of those
I
childhood.
mean, they're excellent choices too.
They're childhood memories that are just like, you know what? I remember liking this movie.
I still like them.
It's just been a while since, and I remember that they still have pretty decent songs. Like,
Oh
still
yeah.
got pretty good songs. My Lullaby is good.
I say, heck, Paul and I will listen to like My Lullaby. We listen to stuff from King of Thieves.
40 Thieves, yeah.
Welcome
Up
to the 40 Thieves. Are you in or out?
Also a good Disney villain song right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think Disney's had a bad song.
Nope.
And let's face it,
There's some that are maybe annoying. Maybe not annoying, but just not quite as memorable.
Well, let's
but
just
there aren't
face
any
it.
that I go on,
Disney
I hate it.
Disney villain songs are among the best.
See, that's just it. We listen
Mother
to more
Knows
than Disney.
Best. Come
Mother
on.
knows best. Listen to your mother.
Like, even some of, like, the main character songs are like, okay, we don't need this. Like, you could argue, like, Love is an Open Doors, where we're like, okay, that's technically a villain song, but...
it's the only...
The only time a hero, or the princess is singing
Yeah,
with
princess is singing with the duet with the villain.
But it's like, Mother Knows Best is amazing.
Mother knows best.
Gaston is technically not like a villain song in terms of him being evil, but...
That's just something to
Even
boost
when
his
they're
own
going,
ego.
even when I don't know the name of the song when they're going to kill the beast. Like,
It's just called the mob song.
okay, that's a pretty decent song.
Yep.
Of course, be
Let's
prepared.
kill the beast.
Again, be prepared. The pinnacle of Disney villains.
That I've seen multiple times has been ranked the best Disney villain song. Which
Oh, yeah.
I kind of just go,
And again,
for one is
I've heard
Jeremy
Hellfire.
Irons.
I've heard Hellfire. It's a pretty creepy song, and it's got
Oh,
some awesome,
very
but it's got
creepy.
some pretty awesome like background. It's awesome. Like, I don't think Disney's had a bad song.
no.
Like again, Love is an
Some
Open Door is
less
not my
memorable,
favorite.
but not bad.
Some that could be a little bit annoying, but are not necessarily bad. Like Love is an Open Door is not my favorite one.
Some people could argue Let It Go is annoying, but that's only because you hear it a thousand times. I still love that.
Elsa was supposed to be the villain in that song. So
That's true, she was.
even though whoever wrote that song did a crap job of writing a villain song.
And like, that is not a villain song in the least.
I think it's supposed to be like a different take on it, but
Yeah.
but yeah, this has been a longer episode. I think this might have surpassed our newest episode as our longest.
No, actually, the longest one was last time, and it went about a minute 40, or a minute,
A minute
an
40?
hour
Oh.
45.
Yeah, well, I like that. These villains have a lot of. Oh gosh, it's midnight. You should stop because I'm never gonna stop if we don't stop.
Yep. Maybe
sorry.
we'll have more comments on villains.
I have to
next
get up
time.
at 6, and I know you have to get up earlier than that, but.
I'll be fine.
Uh,
Anyway, we'll wrap this up for the sake of our health and
Sleep habits.
and sleep habits. Because we do record these kind of later in the day. But anyway, that was our discussion of villains. Maybe we'll have more comments next time. If there's a villain, maybe you feel either overlooked or maybe you want to mention, comment on our video or on our Facebook post or email us, forcecast327@gmail.com. And same thing, if you have comments, questions, or any topic suggestions, feel free to do all the things that I just mentioned and just bring them up. Any last things you want to say, bud?
Good night. I'm going to bed.
Thanks for listening, and may the force be with
Dun,
you.
dun, 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 etc.